Hi, so let's start discussing this set now. What's given here is there are five women who decided to go shopping on the MG Road, Bangalore. They arrived at the designated meeting place in the following order. The first one to come is Archana, then Chelamma, then Dhenuka, Helen, and the last one to come is Shehnaz. Okay. Each woman spent at least 1,000 rupees. Okay. Below are some additional facts about how much they spent during the shopping spree. Okay, so let's just first write down in which order they came to the meeting place. The first one to come is Archana. So first one is Archana. The next one is Chelamma. Chelamma. Next you have Dhenuka. Next is Helen. And the final one is Shehnaz. Okay, so they arrived in this order: first, second, third, fourth, and you have finally Shehnaz. Now, all of them spent at least 1,000 rupees. This is already given. Now, what is the amount that each of them spent? There's some information given about it in the next 6 or 7 statements. Let's look at these statements. The women who spent 2234 arrived before the lady who spent 1193. Okay. So there's one woman who spent 2234 and she arrived before the one who spent 1193. So two women spent 2234 and 1193, and the one who spent 2234 came before the one who spent 1193. Fine. Next you have the women who spent 1340. So there was one woman who spent 1340, which is not Dhenuka. So this is not Dhenuka. Someone spent 1340, but it was not Dhenuka. One woman spent 1378 more than Chelama. So whatever amount Chelama spent, there was one person who spent 1378 more than Chelama. Okay. Then there was one woman who spent 2570 and she was not Archana. So one of them spent 2517, but it was not Archana. 2517. Helen spent more than Dhenuka. Okay, so the amount spent by Helen is more than the amount spent by Dhenuka. Shehnaz spent the highest amount. Shehnaz spent the highest amount, and Chelama spent the smallest amount. Okay, so this is what we are given. Now let's try to solve. We know at least these are the four amounts that were spent, and there would be one additional amount which we do not know yet. So of these four amounts given, the lowest is 1193, right? The lowest is 1193. So it could be that Chelama spent 1193. The lowest is 1193. Okay. Now what could be the highest amount? We know whatever Chelama spent, there was one person who spent 1378 more than Chelama. So 1193 plus 1378, you will have 2571. So there will be one person who spent 2571. So 2571 will be the fifth amount. These are the four amounts. This will be the fifth amount. And of these five amounts, 2571 is the highest. So that will be Shehnaz, 2571. Okay. So this comes to this. Now next is Archana, 1193 हो गया, 2571 हो गया. Next is the person who spent 2234 came before 1193. So 1193 के पहले there is only one person, so this will be 2234, which becomes Archana. So now the amounts left are 2517 and 1340, and we know Helen spent higher amount than Dhenuka. So Helen would have spent 2517 and Dhenuka would have spent 1340. So this is one case when Chelama spends 1193. Now, but here the problem is 1340 cannot be spent by Dhenuka. But here in this case for us, 1340 is spent by Dhenuka. That means our assumption that Chelama spent 1193 is wrong. Right? So this assumption is wrong. Hence this will not be the case. So this gets rejected. Chelama does not spend 1193. So this fifth amount will not be 2571. So we'll have a look at it later now. Now, so 1193 is not the smallest amount. This we have figured out. Now, what could be the smallest amount? Let's see. Whatever the smallest amount is, let's say S, there would be one person who has spent 1378. So S plus 1378. Now this might become the highest amount, correct? So this, let's say if this is equal to 2517, of all these four, this is the highest, 2517. So if S plus 1378 is 2517, then you'll have S is equal to 1139, right? Now remember here, the amount S, what is S? The amount spent by Chelama. Either it can be 1193 or it will have to be less than 1193 because Chelama spends the least amount, correct? It cannot be 1340, right? So whatever the least amount, it would be either 2517 minus 1378 or it will be 2234 minus 1378. But if you 2234 में से if you subtract 1378, the amount will come out to be less than 1000, which cannot be the case. Hence, we'll have to reduce 1378 from 2517 only. Okay, so that means we have assumed that the highest is 2517, so that will be Shehnaz. The smallest will come out to be 1139, which will be Chelama, correct? Now the amounts left are 2234, 1193 and 1340. So Dhenuka cannot be 1340. So 1340 will have to be Helen, 1193 will have to be Dhenuka and 2234 will have to be Archana, correct? So this is the final case. I'll repeat again. We have the following 5 values now: 2234, 1193, 1340, 2517 and 1193. So the smallest is Chelama, which is 1139. The highest is 2517, which will have to be Shehnaz. Now 1193, the person spending 2234 comes before 1193. So 1193 cannot be Archana. It'll be either Dhenuka or Helen. Helen cannot have spent 1193 because she spends more than Dhenuka. Hence, Dhenuka will have to be 1193 and 2234 comes before 1193. So this becomes 2234. And finally, you'll have Helen, which will have to spend 1340. Okay, so this is the set. Now let's look at the questions. What was the amount spent by Helen? The amount spent by Helen is 1340, which is option B. Second, which of the following amounts was spent by one of them? 1139. Yes, 1139 was spent. Of all the options given, 1139 is the only answer that will fit. The last is third, the women who spent 1193. So 1193 is spent by Dhenuka, hence the correct option is option C. Okay, so this was the set. Thank you.